All right, everyone, welcome back. So I had to take a little break. I'm walking back home now. Anyways, where I last left off was the reason why health officials are keeping quiet about the patient location of where they caught the virus or where they've been during the time when they were symptomatic or when they were contagious is because not to spread panic and make everybody like spread out. So I'm glad that I know at least it's in this county, but right now there's no risk for community infection. But at the same time, you don't want people to like panic and start leaving because what that does is it creates uh, more spread. So the best thing to do, okay, the best thing to do if you're in a situation like I am, where you know there's a confirmed case, all right, and you got your first imported case. The next step will be community cases, community spread. The best thing you can do is just hunker down, get your supplies. If you can, get your supplies. You should have been doing that in January, actually. But whatever. The point is, you better hunker down and just let the virus spread to the least amount of people in your area. So self-isolate, practice great hygiene. All right, wash your hands. Do not touch your face. Don't go out, okay? Don't go out. So whatever you do, try to have social distance. So that's the best thing you can do. If you have personal protection equipment, that's even better. Your chances of not catching the coronavirus will increase. If you have a mask, some kind of mask, it doesn't matter whether it's N95 or not, just if it comes to a point where there's community spread, you should wear a mask. If you go out, wear goggles. If you go out, wear personal protection equipment. I have some overalls. I have nitrile gloves. I have goggles. I have a face shield. I have other respirators. And the reason why you want other respirators is so you can package it and leave it aside, let the bacteria die, or let the virus die. So leave it out for like 9 days or 2 weeks or whatever, and then go on to your next mask and try to contain your personal protection equipment. So I got buckets from Harbor Freight. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all my personal protection that I wore or have used every time I go out and come back, put it into the bucket. Or first of all, I need to disinfect myself. So I have a sprayer, I have some bleach, of course I have water. So what you want to do is if you're going to go out at a time where there is community infection, wear your protective gear. I think by then people will not make fun of you for wearing protective gear because this is serious. It's become very serious. I mean, I think at this point in time, 19 people have died. There are over 200, I think there's 400 confirmed cases in the United States right now. Again, this is March 7th. It's March 7th, and there are over 400 cases of the coronavirus here in the United States of America. And so that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And so if it does get that bad, again, I would recommend stay inside, hunker down. If it does get bad, your children will probably not go to school. So I'm waiting. That's when I know it's really serious, when they start canceling schools. All right, when they suspend schools, I know it's very serious at that point. And I don't work. I'm fortunate enough not to work. My wife works, but her job, she's already isolated. She just drives to work, go in the office. Typically, there's no one in the office except her. And so that's just how it is for her. And then have her come home. She did have like a side job. She was doing some kind of side job. I told her to not do that anymore. I told her, take a break from doing your side job because that side job requires her to interact with people up close and personal. And so I told her, don't do your side job anymore. Take a break for that, at least for a month. If things get better, then you can go back. If it gets worse, forget about it. The money's not worth it. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that if someone does get infected, okay, if someone does get infected, you don't want them to come home with the infection and give it to the rest of your family. All right? And if they do come home infected, you want to make sure that you have a place for isolation to keep them isolated away from everything. I might even walk through the grass out here. It's a little windy. So, you got to take some necessary steps. Have some pre-planning. Disinfectant. I also have this other thing I bought a long time ago from Harbor Freight. It's a heat sprayer. It sprays like hot water, a mist. Originally it was for like cleaning. It is for cleaning. You could probably, I'm thinking heat, steam heat would kill the virus just fine. It's windy out here too. Maybe I should walk around the neighborhood actually. I'm trying to avoid the wind. This microphone's not really great during the wind, but anyways. So I have a steam cleaner. I could use that on surfaces if I run out of bleach, because eventually, if this lasts for a very long period of time, like I'm looking at China, basically this infection started in December. It is now March, and Wuhan, the epicenter where the virus broke out, is still under lockdown. Okay, so people are obviously still getting infected in the areas. That's just my opinion. So that's what I think. People are getting infected and reinfected. Like I said, this thing's going to come around in several waves. So this thing is going to come around in several waves. You don't know what's going to really happen. Nobody does. And it's a new virus, and no one has any immunity, so you're very highly susceptible to getting infected. So I think the time to really get prepared and take this very seriously is now, because I'm already looking at the numbers. If you go to the CDC website and you look at the dates and how many people are infected, it's increasing. First it was like 1, 2, 3, and then it jumps to 10, then it jumps to 40, 50, then you're going 100, you get 100 people getting infected, then you're going to see like 300 people get infected in one day. That's that's a clue, people. That's a clue that it's community spread, it's in your area. The best thing to do is not to panic, do not run, do not scatter, because that just spreads the virus even further and faster. What you want to do is you want to hunker down. You want personal protection equipment. You want disinfectants, so like steam, water and chlorine in a spray bottle. What else? Steam cleaner. If you have a steam cleaner, go ahead and use that. That should be the heat. The heat should kill the virus as well. Personal protection equipment. Limit one person to leave the house if you need to do something. Limit one person, all right? The person who is most susceptible to getting infected, you want to make sure that they take extra precaution to make sure that they don't infect others. So, and identify that. Who in your household is the most susceptible to getting infected? And in my household, that's basically my wife and the children. But I guarantee you, if things really get out of hand and becomes a great concern for the community and for the general public, they will shut down the schools. So as soon as they do that, the children will be home. They'll be isolated away from everything. And so that's what I think is going to happen. So School's shutting down. That's your first clue. Once the school shuts down, pull out your mask, pull out your personal protection equipment, pull out your goggles, um, start disinfecting, create a plan. If someone gets infected, create a plan, and just be ready. And please do not panic. Whatever you do, do not panic, and do not scatter. That's the worst thing you can do. Hunker down, stay where you are, even if you're in a very highly infected area. Okay, the best thing to do is to stay in place and hunker down. In some cases, you may already be infected, you just don't know. So remember, you could be asymptomatic. So don't go anywhere. Wherever you are, okay, whatever you're doing, be someplace where you know you want to be for the duration of this period. Okay, be somewhere where you want to be during the duration of this whole epidemic. Okay, so if you're traveling, you don't want to be traveling. You want to get home or be someplace where you know you want to be for at least a month. Okay, so I'm going to be at home. I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to hunker down. It's just like a tornado or a hurricane, except there's no wind, there's no nothing. There's no need to get bottled water. Okay, water will still work, electricity will still work, your internet will still work, everything will still work, except you won't be able to go out. You'll have to have social distance, and you have to be highly sensitive to getting infected. So the mask, the coveralls, the gloves, the goggles, it all seems kind of like a joke, but it's not a joke anymore because it's real. It's become very real. And, at least where I am, there's at least 8 confirmed cases where I live. Now, those are all imported, but all community spread, it starts with an imported case. Okay, it has to, right? That's how it all starts. And so there's 8 right now where I live. I'm assuming by another week or so, or 2 weeks, we're going to see double that. We're going to see 16. And then about a month later, I bet we're going to get up to the hundreds because they're starting to test. Because they're starting to test now. And so once they start testing, they realize a lot of people who had these little sniffles were not feeling well for a couple of days, but they went to work anyway. They probably will be confirmed to having the COVID-19 virus. Most likely, I highly believe that, because some people out there, they go to work sick, and because they can't afford it. So, but at this time right now, I think it is a low risk, and that's why I'm letting my daughter go out and hang out with their friends. But I told her I think she's going to go out to the movies on Monday because it is her spring break. But after that, I told her, don't go out, don't make any more plans after this, because I think in about a week later, you're going to start seeing the progression, the exponential curve of the infection go up. So right now it's like a slow linear curve, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. But once you get to a certain point, it's going to go pow, it's going to just start spreading. So I'm making plans. I have an idea what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I broke my hand, so could be a good thing, because now I have a reason to stay inside the house and not go out. And so that's my overall plan. So I'm headed back home. Hopefully you all like this video. Please share this video with people you know who might be interested in this. Let them know the dangers. Until next time, bye.